Hey, my name is Íñigo Sangil y I am going to change language first, and then I am going to show you how would you use the Drupal Ecological Information Management System to apply many changes to datasets that you are managing using that tool. And for that, I'm going to use an example using the Plum Island ecosystem LTR. Sits above Boston. And well, this site has been collecting data, managing data for a long time. But we recently took all the data and moved it from a legacy system, information management system, to DEIMS, based on Drupal 7. Not everything migrated correctly, so we need to do many changes to many data sets. And that would be tedious if you have to use the online tool and do one by one. So I made a view using view bulks operations to apply many changes at once. So I'm going to show you first, I'm going to demo how I use the tool, and then I'm going to show you a little bit details about the tool. For that, first I need to share my screen with you, and then let's go get this done. All right, I hope that you're seeing what I'm seeing, which is two windows. On the left, there is a legacy data catalog for the Plum Island. You see that they had a list of data sets. On the left is kind of the title. And on the right, you have, on the right, you have other descriptors of the data set, like when it began, when it ended, if it ended at all, and what categories, other categories such as the core area, like how do you group these data sets. This LTR site groups those data sets by research areas. In this case, the first one is the watersheds, but they also have, for example, consumers, and they have, as you can tell, long-term experiments and so on. So they have many categories and you can see them all up here. And they have also what is called core areas. When we migrated, not all of them migrated correctly. So in the new system, which is right here on the right, I need to do some changes. So I already did many of them, but I need to do some more, and I'm going to show you how. So for example, I'm going to look for, you see here at the top, here I have the titles of the data sets. Then I have the core areas and the research areas under which they are grouped, these data sets. So I'm going to look for things that are missing. For example, here there are some things missing, core areas. In here there are more core areas missing, and so on. So here is both the core areas and research for this data set are missing. In here, for example, all these core areas are missing. And in here, this is an easy one. These two groupings are missing. So one thing you can do is on the left browser of the legacy catalog is just put some unique identifier to look for them right here. For example, these two, the HTL, EST, clam, chlorophyll, and density sediment, they are right here and they belong to the consumers category, you see. And there is two different core areas for these, and they are these are well reflected here. So this is 1 corresponds to the primary production, this 5 corresponds to population dynamics. That is good, but they don't have the consumer thing. So I'm going to check these two data sets. This is how you assign the consumers research area. I'm going to go here, and I have this pull down, and one of the options is modify entity values. That's what we want. Data sets are entities, and I'm going to change the values of the categories associated with those. That's the PI research areas. And when I click here, I get all the PI areas, including the consumers one that I want to assign this one. right? And if they had other areas, I could just click this button to not overwrite, but to add to those. In this case, it's just we didn't have anything, so I just click consumers in the Pi research areas, and I'm gonna say that yes, that's exactly what I want to do for these two data sets. And there is a confirmation thing, and I'm gonna say yes, and it did it. Drupal just processed the two data sets and did two at once, and that is great. And if I scroll down in the same catalog that we saw before, and I get to this claim density sentiment, now I know that I see the consumers have been added to the categorization. Now that was not a big win in the sense that there were only two, but right before I joined this video, I did like 20 at a time and things like this. For example, let's just look for this one. There are 4 ones. It's a study of a population dynamic study that involves mussels and snails in this story. And I'm gonna look for this identifier. That's an easy one. And I'm gonna do 4 changes at a time. E or O, wait a minute, or O. Yeah, so you see these 4 ones right here. These 4 ones are these 4 ones. The population dynamics, I know, is number 5, so that is good. But I need to see under which category this guy's falling, and it's a schoolyard LTR. So that's the program where they teach kids, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna select these 4, go back to the top, select modify entity values, apply, and then I want to assign the schoolyard category right in here, and I'm gonna do next, and bam, I'm gonna be asked for confirmation. That's pretty good. Yeah, and it's right away it's doing. So instead of editing one by one the data set, look for the field, clicking here, clicking there, save, change the revision, all that is done just in one shot. So that's how you take advantage of this tool, where you can spot data sets that are that they lack a descriptor that is very important. In this case, is very. Why do I know that is very important? Because we use those tags to classify and group the data set. So it makes the process of discovery so much easier. So we have many more. I'm kind of looking, scrolling fast through all the data sets to see whether there is like a glaring mistake here or something that is just totally missing. I mean, it's fixing, for example, all these PRs, water table, the marsh water table. So I bet this is marsh is the category for all this. I'm gonna scroll up, see whether you see how bad it is that there are many that are missing. So I'm gonna look for this string again on the left side. I'm gonna type mar, that's in E. So it's the eddy flux, and that is under the category marsh. You see it right out here. So that's what it should show up here. And also there are other descriptors like this PRGA. Hopefully they are right there. Now let me look for PR. Sorry, PR. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, March PR, then GA. All right, so those are schoolyard. So they are not in the same ballpark on these two. So let's do these 2 first. And these were in the Mars, fell under the Mars category. So I'm gonna just modify these 2 first. And I'm gonna tackle the other 2. Sorry about my cold, it makes my accent even worse. All right, there it is, 2 following items. Clicking, process, done. Now I'm gonna do this schoolyard one. So we're here, so, all right, it is Marsh ERJA. So all these are well. Okay, there's 5 of them, and they are all schoolyard. 3, 4, 5. And these are the schoolyard. And let me see if, wait a minute, do they have any core area? It's 5, which is population dynamics. So maybe we change both for this, right? Yeah, let's do that. So I go here, modify entity values, I click apply. That's the last one example I do, okay? This one I'm gonna change both properties. I'm gonna choose population dynamics, and I'm gonna choose a schoolyard as the other category or the other grouping. I'm gonna click next, and changes are gonna be into effect for these 5 dataset in a little time. All right. So that is kind of the general process to do these changes, right? And it's pretty convenient. You tend to save quite a bit of time. Now let me talk to you a little bit about the tool, right? How we created this tool to administer data sets and change many values at once. So I use something that is called, and I can sort the table and everything. It's called views bulk operations, and it just comes with Drupal, really. It is really a view. That's all it is. I'm gonna see whether I can edit this view so I can show you the details. For this, you're gonna need to know a little bit of Drupal, and especially a little bit about the views UI interface. Maybe it will be helpful also if you know a little bit about DEIMS and the dataset structure. But okay, let me walk you through it a little bit. This is the UI for this view. So this is how we created this tool to change to do dataset updates in bulk. And it's basically a page that is, the format is in a table format, and the settings are made so I can sort the columns by just clicking at the top. And the fields that you saw is the bulk operation fields, that is the checkbox at the very left. And then, as you remember, we listed the title, the core areas, the research areas, and the actual title of the data, right? That is what we use to find the data on the left and then the right of the legacy system and the new system. All right, we only dealt with published data, right? And content types of type data set in this case. In order to pull those data, those unique identifiers, I have to use a reference, data source reference, right? Because that lives in a different content type, in a different table in the database, so to speak. And that's why there is this extra feature in the advanced UI of views. There is, of course, a path to it, and I display all the items, so there's no pager. Now, the key thing is this field is the bulk operations field. I am going to click on it so you can see it and inspect it by yourself. And all right, I should have disabled updates, but because that's not going to work with me. All right, see if I can. This field is what it is. It is a bulk operations type. Okay, that's bulk operations and content. So you see it here. That's how you find the field. Once you add it, you might create a label for it, for the field. No big deal. The important thing is the select bulk operations setting, right? And in here, you can. This is what appears in that pull down where it said modify entity values. You can add more things. So you can also delete item. If you wanted to delete many data set at once, you can just click that to add that action to your list of data sets. In this case, we only added the modify entity values. And by that, what we did is just to select a few fields associated with the data set, right? There are some further options inside the modify entity values. We didn't skip the confirmation step or anything. We didn't enqueue them. We just executed them right away. And especially, I just select the core areas and the PI research areas. I could have picked more things, more properties, like change the titles in bulk. Don't want to do that. Change the language, the status, they promoted to front page. So all these properties, including the ones that we customize for the data set, the abstract, the ID, sources, CML, hash, link, revision ID, all these things are available for you to apply change in bulk. That's how you do it. So in this case, I just picked these two, and that's what I selected for this build, but you could have done more. So that's it. That's pretty much all I wanted to say to you. So bye.